Alright, y'all, so if I'm being honest, let me preface this video and just go ahead and tell y'all that 2023 was one of the most uncomfortable years for me because there were so many highs, but there were so many lows at the same time. Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Nye, and this is Slay the Renee Way, a place where passionate entrepreneurs can come to grow, glow, and succeed in their small businesses. So if that sounds like you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because your girl is dropping gem after gem after gem. I hope you guys had a really wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates. Today is Thursday, December 28th, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and do a little reflection with you guys talking about 23 things that I learned as an entrepreneur and small business owner in 2023. Go ahead and get your notebook, a cup of tea, some water, or something, and let's get into it. Alright, y'all, so if I'm being honest, let me preface this video and just go ahead and tell y'all that 2023 was one of the most uncomfortable years for me because there were so many highs, but there were so many lows at the same time. And when I tell you guys that the lows were low, if you know, you know. But yeah, the lows were low, but the highs were extremely high as well. So I want to call this year like my adjustment year. It was something that I had to experience to be able to navigate all the different changes, just like the ebbs and flows of entrepreneurship. And I've been an entrepreneur for well over 10 years now, so I know how this goes. But to see such exponential growth and to see such really low lows in the same year was kind of like a huge turning point for me. So here's where I took all of my notes at. So I'm just going to go ahead and read through this list with you guys, and hopefully I'll be able to give you guys some like insight and advice, and we can just like chit chat a little bit. Oh, by the way, we're still on the road to 100K. So if you love this channel and you love the content that I create, it's a very free way to support. All I ask that you do is go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like this video. So yeah, now let's jump right into it. Always be ready to change because things in business can change a lot. If you're not ready to embrace change or even the possibility of change, when change does come, you'll kind of get swallowed up in it as opposed to embracing the change. My number one lesson that I learned in 2023 was to just always be ready for change. I like to consider myself a pretty adaptable person. In business, it gets a little bit different because once you start to see that consistent incline of success and progress and you're making way towards your goals and you're completing things, girl, when them things start to go down, a complete shift in mindset, which honestly as an entrepreneur, I know a lot of us experience different types of stages of like grief and sadness and just depression as in general. I will go ahead and say, based off the way that I was feeling some of these points this year, I felt very much in a depressive state. And maybe it was situational depression. Like maybe some of the situations that I had to learn to navigate as these changes were occurring put me in a situational state of just like sadness. And once you're in that state, it's hard to get out of it. So I would like to suggest to all of you and to myself going forward to, I guess, just be ready for the change. Like, don't get too comfortable. Just don't get too comfortable ever as an entrepreneur because things can just snap and change just like that. So yeah, that's number one. Failing is normal, but it's okay because failing is also a chance to learn something important. I don't really like to look at failure as an absolute failure. I'm kind of one of those people that sees failure as, like I just said, a chance to learn, a chance to improve. Failure is where you start to reevaluate what went wrong. What can I do to improve? How can I not have this situation occur to me again? Make sure that you know as an entrepreneur, failure is normal. And if you aren't failing as an entrepreneur, baby, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you, there's no way to really grow without failure. So just be realistic about the failures and don't let them be something that makes you feel like that you cannot progress going forward. One thing that really happened for me this year that was a failure in my mind, I thought that I failed when this YouTube channel was demonetized because it felt like I was doing so well. To lose all that money and to lose all that momentum and to just lose my main source of income in a blink of an eye like that felt like a big failure. Like, oh, I failed myself. I failed my people. But if you guys did watch that video where I talked about like my demonetization glow up, I did come out of it learning a lot of different important lessons. So that's just one small failure. There were plenty more along this year. Failure is normal, so just be ready for failure and know that it's a chance to grow. And if you're not failing, then you're not growing. So, oh, I love this one. Okay, making friends in your industry or your niche helps you so much in your business. And that means like surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals, people who are on the same path as you. It's more natural to like bring up entrepreneurial conversations or talk about your small business because, correct me if I'm wrong, you've been in a place before where you've been so passionate about talking about this new idea you had, this new product you want to launch, the way your website is turning out, you know, all your new social media following, and someone in your circle who's not an entrepreneur was looking at you like, Like, they're not really as expressive about the things that you are because they don't understand it, and that's okay. We're not here to judge, and we're not here to make people feel like they're not supportive of us, but as an entrepreneur, you definitely need people around you who are on the same type of path as you. Because what I'll tell you, this year, what I did was I opened myself up, and I always have, because this channel is a community of boss babes who I do consider, like, you guys are my family, like, y'all my friends. So I personally feel like making friends in your industry just makes your business, it just helps you overall, especially for those mental battles that you go through and you feel like those, you know, your best friends in your family, they're not able to relate, nor do they really care. Like, let's be honest, some of our friends and family just simply don't care about the stuff that we're talking about. So make a friend today. Comment down below your social media. If y'all want to connect with me in a new Boss Babe group chat, let me know, because I know I have been starting these group chats and not being consistent, but I'm promising myself that this year I will create another entrepreneur group chat for you guys and myself to connect with other people. So comment down below anything that you guys want to know about that, or if you're interested. Use your time well to get things done. Whew. I feel like this year was a big year to learn the difference between consistency and efficiency. Those two words I use interchangeably, because as an entrepreneur, not only do you have to be consistent, but you also have to be like efficient with your time, okay? This year I did learn to actually have set hours for when I'm on work or when I'm at work, and set hours for when I'm off work and when I'm having a break, and just like planning my calendar based on my actual lifestyle, because I had to be very realistic about using my time well, but using it in a way that gets things done. So consistency is making sure that I come up with a routine. I set my work hours from this hour to this hour. I have a break time between this hour, and then I'm off the clock at this hour. So any comments, notifications, emails, texts, phone calls, anything that was not during my work hours, I was making it a point to say, I have to wait until the next day. Because if you're not using it, you'll get closer to burnout. And all entrepreneurs experience this, but there's a way to avoid it. This year, I did not experience burnout. I feel like I actually acquired the most balance I've ever had in my business and personal life to date. And that's saying a lot, because I've been doing this for some years. So I was very impressed with myself, the way that I was able to navigate using my time wisely. So yeah, my recommendation to you guys is to actually like set a system where you are clocking in and clocking out, taking a break, taking paid vacations, just taking like off time. How many times have you been sick and you still got up and was like, well, I'm just going to look and I'm going to do this research. I'm going to still pack this order. I'm going to still make sure this. No, ma'am. You also need to allot yourself that time as well, so that you are taking care of yourself and that things will get done in a more productive manner, because you are being efficient about your time. So yeah, that's my little spiel on that. Know your finances. Understand how the money moves in and out of your business, so that when it's time to make those really important financial decisions, you know exactly what to do. Make sure that you are keeping track of all the income that you are making and the expenses that come with that, okay? So this year was an important year for me, because another thing that I did was I tracked all of the money that I made from affiliate marketing, sponsorships, YouTube ad revenue, collaborations, different things. Like, I had to categorize every single dollar that I made so that I was able to see where all that money is coming from, and that means all the expenses that go into those different areas as well. I'm just going to be real honest with you guys. The money part of entrepreneurship gets real dicey, okay? It gets very dicey, because we are taking control of all of our finances. With entrepreneurship, it's kind of like, because how do I pay myself if I'm not tracking how many hours I work? What are my expenses if I'm not actually tracking exactly where all of my money goes in my business? It gets very confusing. My goal for 2024 is to implement a strategy to where I'm actually logging all of my expenses, better track of my receipts and things, and I just want to be organized when it comes to this finance aspect, because tax time is a headache when it is not organized. So just take it from me. I'm 10 years into this thing, and I'm still like just getting it. I don't have a financial advisor. I'm learning all these things on my own, but the knowledge of it is something that we weren't really taught in school or at home, most of us. So especially in the Black community, I just feel like we're not really well versed in the financial aspect of things, and money. Like, money is not a thing that we're talking about often enough. So don't feel bad about it. It's okay. We're all going to get there at some point, but learn something, get a book, you know, watch a couple YouTube videos or take a class or something, because the information is out there, but you just have to go and find it. Number 6 is listen to what your customers say so that you can make your business better. I cannot count how many times you guys have given me the ideas for a YouTube video, the ideas for a new business venture. I kind of was collaborating with y'all a little bit. I did a lot of polls over on my community tab, and I asked you guys for information or questions, or just to give me like an idea in the comments. I did a lot of, here's what I'm thinking, but let me know what y'all thinking, or here's what I want to do, but what do you guys want to see, type of interaction between myself and you guys. And it really helped. I mean, I'm almost at all of the goals that I wanted to accomplish by the end of this year. So I want to thank you guys very much, and thank anybody who is still watching this video to this moment. I appreciate y'all for working with your girl. But I think that talking to your customers in any business that you are in is always going to make your business better. Here's an edge that small business owners have over like larger corporations. We are actually able to sit and talk directly to our customers using social media. Something that big businesses do is they cannot talk to all of their customers individually because of the high volume of customers that they do have. So use that to your advantage, y'all. Interact with your audience, ask questions, do polls, go live. You know what I mean? Like, that engagement really pays off in the end. So number 7, know that when things are hard, you have to be strong in order to succeed. This year was one of those years where, like I said earlier, I had a lot of hard moments. I'm still having a lot of hard moments at this very moment. I'm going to be strong, and this is just a temporary thing, okay? The universe, God, whatever you decide to use, whatever term, whatever. I feel like if you trust that things will always work out for you, then you're naturally going to be strong during those hard situations, because you know, like, okay, yeah, it's hard right now, but that means that something greater is around the corner. And so anyway, I feel like I have so much to be grateful for this year with all the hardships that I went through, because y'all, I'm gonna be real, it made me strong. I feel like nothing can get worse than what I actually went through in 2023. So if you're just optimistic, knowing that the hardships won't last forever, and be strong when they do come, because that is an attitude towards success. Number 8 is always be looking for the next best thing. You need to be looking towards doing things bigger, better, and just trying completely new ideas. Just trying a new way of posting. Maybe trying a new concept with your product photography. Maybe talking to new people. Maybe posting differently on social media, different days, different times. Always think of how you can get ahead. So if your current routine isn't working, or you're seeing not as great of results as you want to in a certain area of your business, try to do something different. And my tip with this is to be looking at the marketing trends. Social media is forever changing. Marketing strategies are forever changing. Just the world is forever changing. So try to look towards things in the future so that you're not really falling behind. You don't want to be using the same algorithm strategies that we were using back in 2017. Like, girl, it's not going to work today. So try to just think of new and innovative ways to do things so that you're not getting bored either. Because I'll tell you one thing, posting 3 times a day, making sure that you post Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, like, that stuff just get boring after some time. So something that I did this year was I did come up with a routine for my posting schedule, but I made it quarterly. So the first quarter I was posting maybe 2 times a week, and then the second quarter I did 3 times a week, and I've rotated days, rotated morning and night, just like change it up a little bit so that you're not losing track of the momentum, because as we get past quarter 2, going into quarter 3, and now in quarter 4, you can be like, woo, girl, I'm tired. Like, I understand it. So just try to stay ahead and never fall behind. Your personal life and your business life is balanced well. This is easier said than done. Like I just said, I had a lot of different difficulties with this in my previous years, but 2023, I feel like I got it together. So I'll give you guys a couple of things that I did, and I think I talked about this earlier, but anyway, we'll go over it again. I set certain hours that I'm working. I call them like power hours. While I'm at work, I'm strictly at work. And then at 4 o'clock, once she's out of school, I can be on mommy time. Now we can go to her dance class. Now I can do an activity with her if she wants to, or we can just chill out and watch some TV together. But regardless, I had to come up with a structure for myself, which means, yes, I'm working around all the other things that I have going on, but I'm making sure the structure works for me. Because if it doesn't work for me, everyone else is going to fall behind. You still have your regular daily scheduled things that you want to get done. Also, another thing that I did this year, you guys, was I carved out time for hanging out with my friends, traveling, just doing things that Nah enjoys outside of working. Because as a stay-at-home mom and working from home every day, when I tell you I get tired of being in this house, I get tired of being in this house. So to balance my personal life with my work life, which my personal and work life kind of mesh so much because I am working from home, that I had to specifically say, okay, personal time for me is going to look like sometimes getting outside of the house, sometimes going and doing something, sometimes an experience is going to be needed to offset the amount of time that I'm spending working from home. So I did that this year, and I'll insert some clips of different things I did, but I had a really good overall like balanced year, I feel like. So that's just some of my tips. I hope that they work for you. And let me know in the comments if y'all feel like you are also struggling with personal life and work-life balance. Customer satisfaction always matters, okay? Providing your customer with a really good quality customer service experience will guarantee you 97% of the time your customer will return just based off of having a good customer service experience. And think about it for a second. Have you ever walked into a store or been in a business establishment where you felt like no one greeted you and the vibe just wasn't there? You didn't feel like you were being welcomed or treated properly or just taken care of in that shopping experience. Taking smart risks is better than avoiding everything risky. As a small business owner, there are so many different risks and things that will come up that you can take it or you can not take it, and you can miss a great opportunity, or you could avoid that risk and make sure that you avoid any mishaps or loss of money and things like that. Taking smart risks is really like sitting down and think about, okay, well, if I spend this amount of money on this amount of inventory, is this going to actually yield me the amount of revenue that I'm projecting that I will see? Or, you have to really sit down with yourself and make sure that you're going through all the pros and cons of making a risk. Because you don't want to be out here just doing any and everything and then, your business falls apart. So I say take smart risks, and I did a lot of that this year. Like, for example, changing up my style of content this year has drastically improved my interactions, my engagement, even my views. Okay, so piggybacking off of number 11, number 12 is learn about the niche that you're in to make good choices. So what I mean by that is study the area that you are in for your business. And someone who's selling clothing versus someone who's selling like baked goods, you guys have two totally different approaches to marketing, and what the baked good owner does versus what the t-shirt seller does, they may not work. So just because it's working for them doesn't mean it will work for you. So when I say learn your market to make good choices, I mean like study the trends that go on in your niche. Notice that this is what everyone is doing and it's working for them. How can you make that in a new and creative way and do it in a way that they haven't seen before? So that now you just started the trend and now everyone's doing what you're doing and now your business is thriving. I'll tell you that actually really helped me in my business, because I've always been a person who just felt like I'd rather not jump on the trend, but I will study and take specific detail and note about the trend so that I can see, okay, well, if this is what's popping right now, I bet you next year something like this could be popping. So that's something that I do, and it's worked for me. So I just recommend like staying above the trends and using those trends as a way to flip it, make it new and innovative, and create your own trends, because change is good because it helps you to improve. I feel like we talked about change a lot during this video, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, but I do think it is important to note that any change that you're going through, whether it's positive or negative, they're all good changes, because any change is good. You know what I mean? Change gives you the opportunity to improve and succeed. Share that experience with your customers and your audience. I'll tell you why. Your customers can relate to that. Everyone goes through a change in their life, but your customers would like to see more of the ebbs and flows of your business and how things grow and change and just how your business is coming to be what it is for them. If you talk to your customers and explain the things that are happening while they're happening, I guarantee you'll find your loyal customers who are like, okay, I see this change happen, but sis didn't give up. She didn't fail. Oh, be honest, talk to your customers, and storytelling will save you. If nothing else will save you, storytelling will save you. Make people recognize your brand and recognize that it's you. That means that branding is super important, you guys. Something that I worked on this year was making sure that I came up with a tagline for the intros of my video. Comment the intro of my video down below if you know it by heart, because I've been saying it for a consistent 365 at this point. Anyway, what I did was create something specific, a saying, a couple of terms, and just some things that you guys will recognize if you see me anywhere else, or that you will remember me by, because just because you watch the video doesn't necessarily mean when you click off this video you're going to remember my face or remember my voice or remember what you even learned. So by doing something that is consistent, that is eye-catching, that is innovative, and that they've never seen before, make people recognize you so that no matter where they see you at, they're like, oh, that's such and such. Oh, I remember seeing her on, oh, okay, this is that brand that I was seeing all around TikTok. Like, they'll recognize you and they will remember, oh, I did like those body butters from so-and-so, and that scarf from her, like, I really did like that. Yeah, so you have to make sure that your brand colors are consistent, that your logo is over everything, that you are packaging your orders with the same amount of detail every single time, that you are screaming to the world what your business is, what it stands for, and that your tagline, that tagline that people forget to create. I'm not really sure why. It's not just about the logo. It's about the tagline, because that's like your motto. You know what I mean? That's what you want to express when you're not just saying, oh, hey, this is such and such body butters all the time. Like, okay, well, what is your mission? Like, what do you stand for? What do you strive to do? What is your big goal with this business for? And what do you aim to provide me with? Learn to talk and make deals with others. Something that I really am proud of myself for this year was my ability to outreach to different brands that I want to collaborate with, and even talk to some of you guys that I wanted to partner with or do consultations with, or whatever the case may be. Learn to talk to others and learn how to make a good deal. Doing that is something that you will always be able to use. It's just a really good skill to have, and being able to make a good deal and know when a deal is not good. Just because there's something that came across my table, an offer, a potential collaboration, or even a potential sponsorship, whatever the case may be, that doesn't mean that I always accept it, and that doesn't always mean that it was a good deal. And I was able to learn how to counter offer during some of these deals. And I'm so shy, y'all. So shy. Shy to the point where a deal used to come across my table and I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, like I'll do that. Yeah, sure, no problem. You want me to do what? This. Got it. Anything else? No, ma'am. Because in 2023, I learned that you are seeking out me. I have things that I need to make sure that I'm getting accomplished as well. So I was able to counter offer some deals and just like talk to people in a different way. It really helped me improve my professionalism and just like getting some different offers to come. Number 16 is to keep learning and always keep learning to be better at whatever it is that you're doing. But you have to be a forever student as an entrepreneur. Everything changes, like we just talked about. Things change so frequently. If you stop learning, that means that you're not willing to adjust when things change. You know what I mean? So something that I did take seriously this year was I did a lot of different research on YouTube strategies in general. That one thing I studied so much, because I've noticed that YouTube is a changing platform. We got introduced to YouTube Shorts. We also are seeing an influx of new creators jumping onto the platform. And, you know, there's a lot of things that are changing. So make sure that you're always learning. If there's a skill or a craft that you're doing that, you know, works well with your business, keep studying that skill. Keep trying to improve. Keep challenging yourself, because challenges are ways to improve, and just the more that you improve, I think the higher your chance of success is. And I know I told y'all this already, but your girl is a nerd. When I say I like to learn, I mean, you'll see me with 4, 5, 6, 7 books open at one time. What else can I learn? What else can I know? Okay, now how can I do this? Now how can I be better in this area and integrate this area with this area that I just learned about? How can I make those two work? And once I get that done, how can I make this show up in the reality and show up in 3D? So if you're not continuously learning, I just feel like you're not willing to grow. And I'm going to just keep it real like that. Number 17 is to make friends that can help you in your business journey. And I think I already talked about this, but I came back to it, which means I must have wrote it down twice, because I connected with a lot of great people this year. And I think that a lot of the people who I've been, you know, enclosing in my circle, and just off topic with business, keep people around you who support you in an authentic way. That doesn't mean that they shop all your products. That doesn't mean that they have to post you all the time. That just means that they see you wanting to do something and they want to help you to get that done. Or they also want to see you get that done. So, for example, I have a friend who's really good with photography, and she's like, girl, listen, if you want me to take pictures for you, or if you want me to connect you with someone who will take pictures, like, I got you. And I have another friend who's like, okay, look, customer service seems to be one of those things that you could use a little bit more help with. So if you need me, let me know. I just think I genuinely appreciate community as a whole already. So to have people in your personal life, your friends, your family who support you and want to help you, you have to, you guys. You absolutely have to. It takes a village. Just like raising a child, your business is your little baby. So if you want to see your baby grow to full success, then make sure you're keeping people around you who also have that same vision. Celebrate the small wins to stay happy and stay motivated. This is a big one. I know I talked to you guys about this a couple of times, but I'm such a big advocate for the small wins must be celebrated just as drastically and dramatically as the big wins. Because I feel like you have more small wins than you do big wins in entrepreneurship. Let's just keep it real. So the more that you are celebrating those small wins, you'll keep yourself motivated. You'll stay happy and excited about moving forward. Some small wins that I did accomplish this year, I celebrated every last single one of them. Every last one of them. And when I look back in like my journal where I take note of everything, when I look back at all those small wins, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is really impressive, because just last year, these wins were not existing at all. So they may seem small to someone else, But to me, it's a big deal. And I'm a big deal. So I celebrate all my small wins to constantly stay motivated and to have a positive attitude towards my business. So yeah, if y'all don't celebrate your small wins, girl, do it. I don't care if you get 10 new subscribers a day, if you get, 10 sales a day, or whatever the case may be. You just need to celebrate, and celebrate. Will snowball into larger accomplishments. So if you're celebrating them now, when it's time for your big win, you're going to be like, yeah, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming because look at all these small wins that I've been celebrating all this time. You know what I mean? Love number 19. Use technology to make your work easier and faster. AI is not going anywhere. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, AI, like, oh my gosh, this is so spooky. Okay, I get you. Look, trust me, I hear you. But if you can use AI in a way to make your life easier, and this is not just AI, this is technology in general. If there's an app, if there's a software, if there's a tool, whatever, a resource that is technologically advancing you, make sure that you use it and integrate it into your business. I have a habit tracker that I use on my phone, and it pretty much helps me keep track of like all my daily habits. Am I drinking enough water? Am I spending enough time meditate? Like little things that I felt like didn't really matter to keep track of before. This year, I use them and I'm like, okay, this is actually making my work easier because I'm not having to be the only one thinking of these things. There's something out there that can help me use my brain to create something faster. So yeah, AI was something that I really used this year, and I'm still using it because, y'all, it's just really becoming a way to alleviate some of the time that I just spend. Like, I'm able to move much faster, and I appreciate that because now I know that I'm going to go further a lot quicker. Next is think about both short-term and long-term goals for your business. So yeah, it's about to be 2024 in literally 3 days. So if you haven't already, take some time to write out what your short-term goals are and what your long-term goals are. I really am just such a heavy planner. Like, I over-plan sometimes, but I think giving yourself like a structure to see where your short-term goals are versus your long-term goals. A lot of times in entrepreneurship, we're always like, oh, I want to make $1 million. I want to make 5 million sales. I want 10,000 customers, 20,000 followers. Like, okay, babe, that's a lot. And I'm not saying it's not attainable, but those can be like long-term goals, okay? Your short-term goals are what are going to help you to track how close you are to getting towards those long-term goals. So yeah, do both and let me know when you're done. Number 21 is to deal with stress so that you stay healthy. Girl has done a lot of different things to manage stress, and I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it, but I'm like dealing with it head on. Like, I'm not just being like, oh no, I'm so stressed out, I have so many things to do, how am I going to get it all done, and just sitting and moping around with the stress over my head. I'm like, okay, I'm very stressed out. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of different things I need to get done. But how can I get these things done in a realistic manner? That's my key word right there. Realistic. Yes, there are a lot of things to do, but what can you actually do at this very moment? Because your mental health is important. And if no other area of your life, you need to make sure that you're having a healthy mental health with an entrepreneurship journey, baby. Make sure that your mental health is in check. Because if that's not there, there's nothing. So manage your stress levels and do things that can offset the stress. Like find a creative hobby, go out sometime. Just spend some time doing things that are completely opposite of your business world. I mean, I'm like being serious. I mean, I don't care if that's going for a walk every day. I don't care if that's stretching, getting your body more physical, painting, drawing, like doing something that gets your body to be more acclimated in your environment as opposed to overthinking the stress, because that really doesn't do anything. And the more you think about the stress, the more you stay in the stress. Number 22 is to find creative solutions when resources are limited. Find a creative solution to get those resources. Say you have all the inventory you need, but you don't have maybe 1 or 2 different items that you might want to come across, and you just don't have enough money to get them. Okay, creative solution. How can I make whatever product I need to make without that? Because sometimes we'll go into a project thinking, okay, I need this, instead of thinking the least amount of possible things you absolutely need to get it done. So, you got to get creative. You got to be able to say, okay, well, I don't really have time to get that or the money to get that, but, here's something that I can use that will work instead. Like, always think something creative before you just give up. Come up with a creative solution before you say, well, I didn't have enough money for that, so I can't do it. No, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You just got to use that creative aspect in your brain a little bit more. And the last tip, this is kind of something that we all know, but I feel like I use this one a lot this year. use social media to tell people about your business and get the word out about who you are, and to just attract more customers. In 2023, you guys, I could not count how many times I was like, okay, this is who I am, this is my name, this is my channel name, this is where you can find me, this is what I do, promoting myself. And I've always been a person to promote. I was more intentional about what I was promoting and trying to make sure that I'm reaching the people that I want to reach. It's not about just reaching the world, because the whole world ain't for me and I ain't for the whole world. But I am using social media in a more intentional way to make sure that I'm connecting with the potential customer that I feel like aligns with me, and making sure that if that potential customer is just scrolling on their page one day and they come across me, they're also knowing, oh, I like that. I think I was just more intentional, and I think that if you are intentional about how you use social media and not just using social media just because you have to promote, you will probably see more success. Don't just be posting saying, hey, come shop now. Hey, here's my business. Okay, girl, but what do you sell? What do you do? Why do you sell it? Who are you? Where are you located? Like, get more personal. And that's something I've done a lot this year. Speaking of getting more personal, I also did create a personal YouTube channel, you guys. I would love it if you guys will come and follow me over there. I'm still working on getting a couple things up and ready, but I did just go ahead and post a couple of shorts. I did like some mini twists in my hair under this head wrap, but go ahead and subscribe to my personal channel. I'm trying to get my way to 200 subscribers, so if you want to see your girl in a more personal light, go ahead and subscribe over there. But this was my 23 things that I learned in 2023. If you found any one of these useful or helpful, or you just like this style video, like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which one of these you actually really resonated with. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, love you guys so much. See you on the next video. Peace.